Hello, my name's James. I'm a portrait photographer and I welcome you to my studio here in Portsmouth in the UK and another tutorial shoot here. Today, we welcome Hannah to the studio. Say hi, Hannah. There we go. That's her one word. That's all she's allowed for this shoot. No more words out of you. We can't afford to pay you to speak. We're photographing Hannah for the first time since 2010 today. Hannah first came to us in 2010 as a wee bairn, and we photographed her with her family and we did a lovely set of portraits. And Mum still has your portrait up on the wall. From how old were you then? 6, I think. And what we're going to do today is we're going to photograph some new portraits of Hannah because it's now not 2010 anymore. We're way in the future from there, and Hannah has changed. She is now a National Development Boxing Champion, which is really, really cool. So we are going to take some awesome photos to make her look big, to make her look strong, and to make her look like an empowered athlete. That's the goal from today's session. And we're going to do it using just 2 lights, but for most part of the session, we're just going to be using one. We're going to show you how you can just use one light and a plain white backdrop to create really impactful portraits. Let's begin. We're going to bring you over here to our Elinchrom 3 on a big C stand here. Going to bring this into the shot here. The Elinchrom 3, as you can see here, is a completely wireless unit. It's not tethered to the wall via a cable. And it's powered by a C port with a battery on the inside. So you can just charge it up overnight like I did last night. It's now got a full day's worth of charge for the shoot. And I've got my favorite, my Octabox here, which is a real deep dish Octabox, which is going to give us a really concentrated, controlled form of light coming in to the shot here. Okay, the C stand can go super, super high, but just for now, I'm going to just place it here around about 1 meter or so from our subject, directly straight down, and we're going to follow my rule. Come around here, you know my rule, from the back of the light all the way through the light, through the middle of the softbox, roughly hitting just above the eye line here. That's the sort of angle, that's the plane we're looking for to get a nicely exposed portrait of Hannah here. Hannah with her taped up hands looking like a real fighter, and with her vest and with her cool shorts and her cool boots, the whole kit and caboodle here. I think a full-length portrait is going to be the best way to go to get a nice shot here. So I'm going to ask you to take a very, very small step backwards, just a little bit more against the wall. Pick up your sort of fighting stance there for me. We're just going to see if she's a southpaw, or what's the opposite of a southpaw? An orthodox. You're a southpaw and orthodox. Orthodox means that she is right-handed, as my camera person nearly falls over, as she does once every video. Keeping the light there, we've got it on 3.6 on the power roughly. If I do need to change the power, I'm going to use the unit, the transmitter on top of my camera. And the camera that we're using today is the Canon EOS R6 from the 24 to 105 f4 lens. I'm just going to set my settings first up here. 160th of a second, f11, ISO 100, and we're going to take the transmitter off so that we can just take a picture without the flash on. And we'll have a look at that picture over here, and we can see that that picture is completely black, completely underexposed at those settings, which is a good thing because it means that the light that we're using here is the only light that's going to be controlling the light in the portrait. No other ambient light is going to affect that. Nice fighting stance here, and we're just going to take a straight on portrait, slightly wide angle. I'm just going to slightly move the C-stand slightly over to the side here, a little bit wider with the hands, with the feet there for me. Bring the hands up just a little bit higher there for me. Let them gently rest down just by the side there for me. 3, 2, and 1. We should see here, there we go, that our first portrait has come out. And with those settings and the way that we set it up, the portrait is underexposed. There's a few things we can do to affect this. The 2 simplest ones are we can control the aperture through the camera and open it up a bit more, but that might affect the amount of ambient light coming into the picture. There's a little bit of window light in this room, a little bit of things coming around. All I'm going to do is I'm going to turn up the power on my Elinchrom unit here. I'm going to turn it up by two whole stops there. We're just going to see how that looks. Same pose again there for me if we can. 3, 2, 1, go. 2 stops up. So we can see from the histogram here that all the peaks are in the middle roughly there, which means that we've got a well-exposed image. Got a little bit to play with there, so I think I can just move my light in just a little bit closer. And if we move our light a little bit closer to our subject here, still roughly straight on as we're looking at it there, and we take the same poacher again there, hold that there, 3, 2, 1, go. It will give us a slightly brighter image, which we can see there. Now that exposure is a little bit more punchy. But if we want to make a slightly more interesting portrait, one of the simplest things that we can do is we can change our camera angle. Now, most of those shots were pretty much taken from my eye level, from where I am standing. So from the viewer's perspective, looking at it as a photograph, you're viewing it at eye level, as you would if you were to walk past Hannah in the street. Don't give her any trouble, she'll kick your butt. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna change our camera angle, and you gotta check your ego at the door when you're a photographer. I'm gonna come right down on the floor here, nice and low. Same pose again, we're not gonna change anything, we're just gonna keep that same pose. And 3, 2, 1, go. A little bit wider with the feet there for me if we can. Nice big boss, big shoulders. 3, 2, 1, go. Very simple. And by changing that angle, we've changed the perspective of the viewer for this shot, for something that's a little bit low, which makes you look even more intimidating in this shot. Now we're just going to control the light a little bit more by adding a second light. What we notice in this shot here is that there are shadows down by the right-hand side of the picture, where the light is just up there on the left-hand side, angling down, so we've got that slight shadow on the right-hand side. And I want a slightly cleaner exposure there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna introduce a background light. Now you'll see from where Hannah stood, there's not a lot of distance between her and the background to actually put a light. So we're just gonna work with a tiny little bit of space, not too much, you can still do this in small spaces. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put a second Elinchrom 3 light just round to the side here, angled in, which should give us a fall off and a sweet spot of light just behind her, but falling off into darkness over from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. We'll turn off our key light here, and we're just going to take a portrait just here with Hannah posed as she is, just going to see how that looks. And with the lights there, you can see that we've got a perfect silhouette, which means that any light in front of Hannah is going to expose her without anything in the background disturbing it or giving us any rim lighting or giving us anything to the side. So we'll turn on this light here, our main key light, and now we have a main light working with the background light, which should give us an image with a bit more pop. Let's have a look at it now. 3, 2, 1, go. Nice. Yeah, nice shot that. So what we can do now is we'll move this light even further round, just change the angle on that one, move it right out, so it's just coming to the side there, give us a bit more even spread of light. Same pose again there for me. 3, 2, 1, go, perfect. And I'm gonna come even lower down on the angle, even wider with the feet there for me if we can, Hannah. Hold that there. Take a small step this way there for me. Beautiful, 3, 2, 1, go. Love it. So we're controlling the light throughout the portrait to give us these poppy, high-key portraits of a fighter from a low angle, looking tough, looking down on her opposition as if you just knocked someone out. Don't know, you wouldn't do it like that, would you, with bare knuckles? I don't think you'd have to wear gloves, wouldn't you? Okay, cool, of course you would. Bring your hands up to your here for me if we can. We can still use this setup by going in even closer. Take a small step this way. Perfect. Let's see how that looks when we go a little bit closer. 3, 2, 1, go. Well controlled. And by moving in closer, we're just using that pop of light. We're going to move this background light a lot closer to the background here now. And we're going to stand Hannah in front of it. Now, because we're not shooting full length anymore, we've moved to a half-length portrait, we can now see that we won't be able to see that background light in the picture. If we were taking it full length, we would see it by the legs and by the feet, and we'd have to Photoshop it out and all those kinds of things. But if we go in close now, we can see, what we should be left with is a great little silhouette here, with a beautiful circular light around. Now we turn our key light back on, do the same pose again, and we should get something a little different. 3, 2, 1, go. And now we're gonna really control the light. And this is where we start to add a little bit of expertise and a little bit of knowledge to really control the shadows and the tones throughout the picture. We're going to use these big boards that we've got in studio here. They've got a white side and a black side. And I'm going to use the black side on both of them. So now she's sandwiched in between these two black boards, and we're controlling any potential bounce, any potential fall off on the skin and all of the shadows there. So we're going to hopefully create a really intimidating portrait that's got real contrast. And by maximizing the height of this light here and by angling it down, we should be able to define those shadows even more here. Nice pose there for me. 3, 2, 1. I'm still going low down on the angle here. 3, 2, 1, go. Perfect. All the hair over one side of the face there for me if you can. Hold that there. 3, 2, this arm lower, a little bit lower here for me. 3, turn the head this way slightly. 2, 1, go. Perfect. Lovely. And look at the control now of those shadows down the arm, the shadows down the face, and everywhere around that portrait, with a nice gradient of lighting in the background, just giving us something interesting and framing just around her shoulders. So now we're going to bring Mum in to help us with this last little bit of the shoot. We're going to bring in a water bottle, come on in, and we're just going to start spraying into the hair, and we're just going to start to make that hair nice and wet. Off we go. Perfect, that's fine. Close your eyes while we do this. Loads in there and loads all the way down. Get it really, really wet, all the way over. It'll dry, don't worry. You'll be fine. We've got hair dryers. See if we can get it just all over and all round there for me, just like that. Give it even more there for me if we can. And let's go extra, right? That's it. That's good. Brush it in. See, we're getting a real zhuzh. Get in there for that zhuzh. Do the zhuzh again. There we go. Now we're looking like a fighter. Now we need before you go, we need sprays of water down the arms to give us little droplets, give us little bits of contrast, give us little bits of texture, and a little bit on the face. One big spray on the face. Close the eyes. There we go. Keep that pose there for me. Try and look mean. Try and look like you've just finished at the end of a fight. Hold that there. Arms down by the side was nice. The way you did that, perfect. Let the eyes drift off there for me over that way. Chin up just a fraction. Turn the head away for me just a little bit. 3, there's your shot. 3, 2, eyes down towards me now. 3, 2, keep that head tight there. Eyes down towards me, go. Beautiful. And there we have a fighting picture. That's a nice one there. Just looking over to the side. And just by adding those elements of water and those elements of just a little bit of spray in there, just gives a little bit of storytelling, a little bit of narrative to the portrait. Let the hair come across the face here, just just down like this, that's it. And now just look straight down towards me, perfect. 3, lean in towards me there for me if you can. 3, hands up there for me as in a boxing pose there for me. 3, 2, chin down just a fraction. 1, there she is. Oh, there she is. Badass. And there we go. So by adding light, by controlling light, and also by controlling the model and the dressing and all of those sorts of things, we can help elevate a portrait from what is essentially just a picture of a young boxer on a white background to something that has a little bit of drama, a little bit more character, and a little bit more form. If you enjoyed this tutorial, then I implore you to visit nofussmust.com, where you can download more of our training content, and we take you through a step-by-step guide about how to use one light in 10 different ways, and then 2 lights in 10 different ways, and then 3 lights in 10 different ways, and it gives you 30 different lighting setups for you to use. Have a look on there. Have a look at the other content on here. And if you like the content, they should leave a like, subscribe, and leave a nice, friendly, honest comment, shouldn't they? Definitely. You've got to double her pay now. She just used 2 words. All the best.